Hey guys, it's me, Jessie. So today I decided that I would once again try the challenge where I use every shade in the palette. And since I got this new yellow backdrop, which I love because yellow is my favorite color, I decided that since recently I reviewed the Honey palette from Colourpop, this one, but I wasn't too happy with how the look turned out. I don't feel like I used it to my full potential, or its full potential, so I thought I would try it again since the yellow backdrop and it's all yellow shades. So I thought we'd give it another try and see what we can come up with. So like the challenge goes, you have to use every shade of the palette, which, you know, for palettes like this where it's all, you know, one color, it's all yellow shades, it shouldn't be too difficult. So if you want to see what I create this time with this palette, then keep on watching. Okay, let me jump in here real quick. So while I was filming, my battery died, and for some reason I hadn't charged my backup batteries. So I had to wait until it was charged, and of course I didn't want to go about my day with only... Okay, so while I was trying to explain what had happened of why all of a sudden I don't have any eyeshadow on and why the video cut off, because of the battery dying, I ran into another problem where all of a sudden my memory card on my camera was full. Yay! Okay, so I deleted stuff on the memory card and the battery is fully charged. So here's hoping that there's no other problems. So with that being said, I'm gonna jump back into the video now and Well, no, okay. First, I'm gonna go and recreate that eye look up until where it cut off when the battery died, and then I will come back and jump back into the video. So, sorry guys. Okay, so I am back on track. Sorry about that. But real quick, I just wanted to mention that I have used 5 shades, and they are all the matte shades. And I mean, you can see a little difference. It's lighter, you know, and it gets darker, but there's not so much of a contrast between the colors. And before I put on the color Buzzkill, this one down here, the deepest tone in the palette, if it will focus on it, this one, before I put that on, you couldn't really tell much of a difference, which this time, unlike my last video, because the last time I just quickly did a look, but this time I was seriously trying to pack on the colors, you know, to see how much pigmentation you could build up, and I just felt like they all kind of look the same, which is super disappointing. I mean, I know that yellows are really hard to do, but yellow is my favorite color, so super disappointed. So I feel like with this palette in general, it can't be necessarily used just by itself. I mean, if you're doing like a really simple, you know, look, then it's probably fine. But if you want more depth and dimension and like deeper tones and stuff like that, then you're gonna have to, you know, use another palette just mixed in with this one. Not mixed in, but use it as well as this one. So, I mean, I know that the shimmer shades are good. I'm not sure how different they are from each other, but we will see. And that's the good thing about trying every single shade in the palette in one look, because then you get an idea of, you know, how they perform, and especially shades that are similar like this, you know, is there that big of a difference between them? But yeah, so a little disappointing. And also, to get it to the pigmentation that it's at, I had to pack on a crap ton of it. And as you can see, there is fallout. Now this time I didn't go as heavy with it, because last time I think I pointed out in the video that there was a ton, but this time not as much, and it can just be, you know, brushed away for the most part. It still leaves a little yellow residue, but not that big a deal, especially if you do your eye look before your foundation and concealer. But those are just my thoughts so far. Yellow, yellow, yellow. But I mean, I still like it. I still think that it's cool. I'm just saying, if you're wanting, you know, more to the look, then you're not going to get a whole lot of difference in these matte shades, because this is what I used in the outer upper crease area, the inner upper crease, and then this one I did like more in the crease area on the outer portion, and then this one on the inner, and then this is what I used to deepen it up a little bit, and that's when you can really tell that there's some variation there. So yeah, but let's finish the look and then we'll see how all the colors performed. So this is what I decided to create with it, and I did use all 9 shades. I told you how I used the matte shades, and then so I did Sunburst on the inner corner, which has more of like a green reflex to it, and then I used Dandy on the inner portion of the lid, and then I did, what's it say, Queen Bee on the outer portion of the lid, and then I used glitter glue, which I highly recommend because that middle shade is glitter and it will stick best and not get a ton of glitter fallout if you use a glitter primer glue. So yeah, that's just what I tapped on the middle of the lid. And then underneath, I just used those matte shades using Buzzkill to, you know, connect the upper lid and the lower. And there's glitter all over me again. So yeah, I'm going to quickly finish the other eye off camera, and then I'll be back to give you my final thoughts of retrying the Honey and trying all the shades. Alright guys, and here is the final look. I'm going to scooch in a little bit so you can see it better. And I actually think it turned out great. And I say that because I'm surprised. Because halfway through the video, I'm like, oh man, these matte shades, there's, you know, not much difference between them. And at one point when I was blending, it seemed like it was blending away, like it was disappearing. And I'm like, oh man, because yellow is my favorite color, and this just wasn't as good as I thought. But I feel like it all came together in the end, and I think it looks great. And as long as you don't mind having to build up the colors a little bit and deal with a little bit or a lot of bit of fallout depending on how much you pack on, then, oh, and also as long as you don't mind having to maybe dip into other palettes for colors here and there, then I think it's a great palette. And I mean, it is a yellow palette, so those are tricky, but I feel like maybe on a deeper skin tone that these would pop a lot more and look amazing, but on, you know, fairer skin tones, it's tricky with these light shades. But the shimmers are great, and I mean, it turned out great in the end, so I have no complaints about it at this point. I did put this on the lower waterline, couldn't think of it for a second, and it's in the shade Punch from Colourpop, their eyeliner. And then I also used the shade Yellow Goodbye in their BFF Volumizing Mascara on the lower lashes, just for a little extra pop of yellow, and I think it's fun. It's almost like a little bumblebee. But yeah guys, so I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I definitely enjoyed making it for you. And until next time guys,